I don't claim to understand what happened that night. All I know is that it was the first, and so far the only time I've ever genuinely thought something was in my room with me. Not a dream, not imagination, something else. It was a little under a year ago, when my bedroom was arranged, so the first thing I'd see from my pillow was the window. That setup never bothered me before. If anything, it helped. I liked glancing at the curtains and knowing it was just my room, just my space. That night started no differently. I went to sleep normally, nothing unusual on my mind. At some point, though, I woke up for no reason, no noise, no nightmare, just suddenly awake, staring straight at my window. The moonlight filtered through my curtain, the one patterned with black flowers and swirling designs. Those spirals were the first thing I noticed. My eyes locked onto one of them, a small twist of black fabric that should have been harmless. But the longer I stared, the more it changed. The spiral seemed to swell, stretching outward like it was breathing. The pattern warped, shadows thickening until the shape wasn't a pattern anymore. It was a figure, a girl-shaped silhouette, crouched low. No features at first. Then slowly, as if forming while I watched, a mouth lined with sharp teeth, brown eyes tinged with red, and no matter how impossible it seemed, she was looking directly at me. I tried to sit up. I couldn't. My body was stiff, heavy, refusing to respond. Even my voice was trapped. All I could force out were these pathetic, muffled moans. My attempt at screaming for help. I remember the panic, the desperation, knowing no one could hear me, and knowing the thing was still advancing. The figure didn't walk. It crept, slow, deliberate, almost graceful. It crossed the room until it was on the edge of my bed. Then it climbed onto me. I felt the weight. I felt the breath on my skin, and then I felt teeth pressing, sinking into my arm. Not imagined, not symbolic. A real, sharp, burning bite that sent a shock straight through my chest. And just like that, I snapped awake. My room was exactly as it should have been. Curtains still. Window closed. No figure, no girl, no impossible eyes. But the terror didn't lift with consciousness. My arms still ached. Not a dream ache, actual pain. Like the echo of something that shouldn't have been able to touch me. I lay there for a long time, afraid to look at the curtains again, afraid the spiral would start changing if I stared too long. I still sleep in that room. I still have those curtains, but I never look directly at them when I wake up at night. Because sometimes, out of the corner of my eye, I swear that spiral looks a little larger than before. Like it's remembering the shape it once took, waiting for me to wake up in the right moment again. I don't tell this story often, mostly because people assume it was just a dream. But the moment it happened, it felt scarily real, real enough that I genuinely thought I was about to die. For context, I've always had vivid nightmares. Not the cinematic kind, but the kind that hit you with flashes, distorted faces, twisted bodies, things that move wrong. The sort of dreams where you wake up sweating without remembering the details. Only the fear. That night was one of those nights. I remember tossing, sinking deeper, feeling trapped in a reel of chaotic images. Something, maybe a sound, maybe a shift in the room, pushed me halfway out of sleep. I didn't wake up fully, I just floated there, aware but unable to pull myself free. That half-dream state is dangerous. Your mind fills in the blanks with whatever nightmare residue is still clinging to you. When I finally managed to turn my head, that's when everything went wrong. At the edge of my bed stood a child, small, motionless, and God, the face. The skin looked melted, raw and wet like it hadn't finished burning. The sockets were empty, but somehow I knew it was staring right at me. Its outline was translucent, flickering slightly like a dying candle flame. Every nerve in my body fired at once, demanding I scream or move or something, but nothing responded. My jaw wouldn't open, my hands didn't twitch, even my eyelids refused to shut. I lay there, helpless, pinned under the weight of a terror so sharp it felt physical. The burned child leaned closer, just an inch at a time, its ruined face tilting like it was studying me. Then it reached out, a small hand, fingers curled and dripping, almost touching my cheek. I could feel its presence, cold and close. I started crying without making a sound, every muscle tensed and useless. For a few seconds, I honestly wondered if I was already dead, trapped between the dream and whatever comes after. Then suddenly, everything snapped. My body unlocked. Air rushed into my lungs. My fingers jerked. I blinked hard, and the burned thing in front of me blurred, shifting, shrinking, softening. It wasn't a ghost. It was my daughter, my very real, very alive daughter, standing beside my bed in her pajamas, shaking from a nightmare. She must have whispered to wake me, and my brain, still tangled in the dream, twisted the sight of her into something horrific. I sat up fast, grabbing her before she could even speak. She didn't know what I'd just seen. She only knew that she was scared and wanted me. I held her until she calmed down, but I couldn't calm down myself. Even after turning on the light, the image of that melted face lingered behind my eyes. I kept checking her features, reassuring myself she was normal, real, unharmed. What still chills me isn't the hallucination itself. It's how convincing it was. Because for one awful moment, before I woke up completely, I could have sworn I felt that burned hand rest against my cheek, a sensation I still remember, even though my daughter never touched me. And every now and then, when I'm half asleep, I still feel a cold little hand hovering right beside my face, like it's waiting for another chance. I've told a few people about this, but most of them shrug it off as sleep paralysis or a nightmare. Maybe it was, but the way it happened, the timing, the sounds, the door, still feels too real to dismiss. It was the first time anything like this ever happened to me. I hadn't even meant to fall asleep. I'd crashed on my living room couch with the lights on, TV playing softly in the background, the kind of half-asleep moment where nothing feels threatening because everything around you is normal. I don't remember the moment I drifted off, but I remember exactly how I woke up. I opened my eyes, expecting the TV glow and the usual late-night hum of appliances. Instead, the first thing I heard was wind. Loud, rushing wind, like my apartment was sitting in the middle of a storm. My curtains whipped around even though my windows were shut. The sound kept getting louder, building like it was right in the room with me. Then the lights started to dim, not all at once, slowly. Every bulb faded, as if someone was turning a dial. The TV flickered, the volume dropped on its own, and then both the picture and the sound vanished. Within seconds, my brightly lit living room went dark and silent. That silence lasted maybe a heartbeat. Then my front door opened. No creak, no warning, just a slow, deliberate swing, as if someone on the other side had been waiting for the right moment. A shape slid through the doorway. Not a person, a shadow. A tall, shifting mass that moved along the walls like it wasn't fully solid. It drifted deeper into the flat, room by room, gliding without footsteps. Every time it passed a doorway, I could hear that wind swelling again, pulsing through the air hard enough to rattle something inside my chest. I wanted to get up. I wanted to shout. Instead, my body locked up completely. My jaw wouldn't move. My hands felt fused to the couch. I couldn't even suck in a full breath. I knew what was happening. I'd heard of sleep paralysis before, but knowing didn't make it any less terrifying. The shadow stopped. It turned toward me. I don't know how I knew it was looking. It didn't have eyes or a face or anything human. but something in the air shifted, like the moment an animal notices you and suddenly the entire forest goes quiet. And then the sounds came back all at once. Wind roaring, walls vibrating. The whole flat felt like it was shaking as that thing started moving straight toward me, faster this time. Heavy, rushing, like it was gathering force. Panic hit hard enough that my thoughts scrambled. That's when I remembered. If I can't move, maybe I can still close my eyes. It took everything, but my eyelids slammed shut. The wind didn't stop. If anything, it got louder. I could hear the thing moving around me, circling, stopping, starting again. Every second stretched out, and I kept waiting to feel something, cold, a touch, anything. But all I had was the noise, the pressure, the certainty that something was inches away. At some point, no idea when, the sound faded. Or maybe I drifted off again out of sheer exhaustion. When I woke up, about 20 minutes had passed. The lights were still on. The TV was playing like normal. The door was shut. Everything looked exactly the way it should have. But the memory wasn't dreamlike. It was sharp. Too sharp. Sometimes when I fall asleep in the living room now, right on the edge of dozing off, I swear I hear a faint gust of wind, just enough to make me open my eyes and check the door. Because it doesn't make noise when it opens. It never did.